Okay, this is Try Hack Me Windows Fundamentals 2. In part 2 of the Windows Fundamentals module, discover more about system configurations, UAC settings, resource monitoring, the Windows registry, and more. Okay, so this is our introduction. Might as well start our machine, get that going. This is my IP address, username, and password. Scroll down, have the certificate. Machine should take about 3 minutes to load. Read above and start the virtual machine. We did that and just hit question done. Task 2, system configuration. Okay, we see here our box is deployed. We're logged in as administrator. Okay, the system configuration utility msconfig is for advanced troubleshooting, and its main purpose is to help diagnose startup issues. We could reference something here, some documentation. You click it, brings us to the Microsoft official site, learning site. There are several methods to launch system configuration. One method is from the start menu. Okay, so let's go along and do that. Search option and let's type in msconfig. Okay, so now we have our msconfig. You need local administrator rights to open this utility. We go here, we see we are the administrator for this box. Utility has 5 tabs. Across the top below are the names for each tab. We will briefly cover each tab in this task. So we have here general, boot, service, startup, and tools. In the general tab, we can select what device and services for Windows to load upon boot. The options are normal, diagnostics, and selective. So we have normal, diagnostic, and selective. In the boot tab, we can define various boot options for the operating system. Go here, and this is our boot. The service tab lists all services configured for the system, regardless of their state, running or stop. A service is a special type of application that runs in the background. So here we have all our services, and majority of them you see here are stopped. We have a few running in the background. We go here, these are all the ones that are running. You scroll down, you have all the services that have been stopped and are not currently running. Okay, as you can see, Microsoft advice using Task Manager to manage, enable, disable startup items. The system configuration utility is not a startup management program. Okay. Note, if you open Task Manager for the attached VM, you will notice that Task Manager doesn't show a startup tab. There's a list of various utility tools in the Tools tab that we can run to configure the operating system further. There's a brief description of each tool to provide some insight into what the tool is for. Okay. So let's run into the Task Manager. This is a way. If you right click here, more details, and click services. And these are some of the tasks that are running. And here's our description. Notice the selected command section. The information in this text box will change per tool. Okay. To run a tool, we can use the command to launch the tool via the command prompt, or by clicking the launch button. Okay, let's go to our questions. First question: what is the name of the service that lists systems internal as the manufacturers? So we're here on our msconfig. We want to be in services. I have it listed in alphabetical order services, but we're looking for the manufacturer. So it's probably best to sort them. And we're looking for system internal as the manufacturer. So let's scroll down. We have system eternals here, and that service is PS shutdown. PS shut. Okay. Whom is the Windows license registered to? To find out who the Windows license is registered to, we go to Tools, About Windows to display Windows version information. Hit the launch, and this product is licensed under the Microsoft software license terms to Windows user. Windows user. What is the command for Windows troubleshooting? The command to troubleshoot Windows can be found here under Tools. So we see here Windows troubleshooting. This is the command. I'm going to try to copy it. Let's see if I'm able to paste. Nope. So you can't copy and paste from the VirtualBox, so I ended up typing the whole command. Let's submit it, and the answer is correct. What command will open the control panel? The answer is the same, is the name of the executable, not the full path. So if we go here, System Properties, view basic information about your computer system settings. That's pretty much what we get when we open the control panel. So here's asking the name of the executable. So it's control.exe. You do not want to input the exact path. Task 3, change UAC settings. We're continuing with tools that are available through the system configuration panel. User account control, UAC, was covered in great details in Windows Fundamental 1. I hope you finish this before you start this one. The UAC settings can be changed or even turned off entirely, and it is not recommended. You can move the slider to see how the settings will change the UAC settings and Microsoft's stance on these settings. So here we go. Okay, what is the command to open user's account control settings? The answer is the name of the executable file, not the full path. So I believe the answer could be found here. We see change UAC settings, and it's saying that the answer is the executable. Okay, let's type that out. User account control settings .exe, and that is correct. Task 4, computer management. We're continuing with tools that are available through the system configuration panel. The computer management utility has 3 primary sections: system tools, storage, and service application. Let's go and launch that. Let's see if we could do search. COMP. Yes, it automatically pops up. So now we're on computer management. And as you can see, we have system tools, we have storage, and we have service and application. Okay, let's start with Task Scheduler. Per Microsoft, with Task Scheduler, we can create and manage common tasks that our computer will carry out automatically at the times we specify. A task can run an application, a script, etc., and tasks can be configured to run at any point. A task can run at login or at logoff. Tasks can also be configured to run on a specific schedule, for example, every 5 minutes. To create a basic task, click Basic Task under Actions. Create a basic task under Action. Let's move on. Next is Event Viewer. Event Viewer allows us to view events that have occurred on the computer. These records of events can be seen as an audit trail that can be used to understand the activity of the computer system. Now, this information is often used to diagnose problems and investigate actions executed on the system. And right here we see that the event viewer has three panes, sorry. And there are 5 types of events that can be logged. Below is a table from Microsoft.com, and it provides a brief description of each. We move more now. These standard logs are visible under Windows logs. And below is a table from Microsoft providing a brief description for each. For more information about event viewers and event logs, you can refer to this room. Share folder is where you will see a complete list of shares and folders shared that others can connect to. Okay. In the above image under shares are the default shares for Windows, C Money, and default remote administration share created by Windows, such as admins. As with any object in Windows, you can right click on a folder to view its properties, such as permissions, who can access the shared resources. Under sessions, you will see a list of users who are currently connected to these shares. In this VM, you won't see anybody connected to the shares. All the folders and files that are connected users access will list under open files. The local user group section should be familiar with from Windows Fundamentals 1. You should be familiar. And this is the command. In performance, you will see a utility called Performance Monitor. And this is the command. Performance used to view performance data either in real time or from a log file. The utility is useful for troubleshooting performance issues on a computer system when local or remote. And here we have the device manager, and it allows us to view and configure the hardware, such as disabling any hardware attached to the computer. We move to storage. Under storage is Windows Server Backup and Disk Management. We'll only look at disk management in this room. Note, since the virtual machine is a Windows Server operating system, there are utilities available that you will typically not see in Windows 10, and they mean Windows 10 Professional, Windows 10 Home. Disk management is a system utility in Windows that enables you to perform advanced storage tasks. Some tasks are set a new drive, extend a partition, shrink a partition, assign or change a drive letter. Example E. Now we have our services and applications. Recall from the previous task, a service is a special type of application that runs in the background. You can do more than enable and disable a service, such as view the properties for that service. And we have here. WMI controls, configures, and controls the Windows Management Instrumentation, WMI service. Per Wikipedia, WMI allows scripting languages such as VP scripts or Windows PowerShell to manage Microsoft Windows personal computers and servers, both locally and remotely. Microsoft also provides a command line interface to WMI called Windows Management Instrumentation Command Line. The WMIC tool is deprecated in Windows 10 version 21H1. Windows PowerShell supersedes this tool for WMI. Question 1. What is the command to open computer management? The answer is the name of the MSC file, not the full path. Okay, so let's go into our system configuration, computer management, and we have the MSC file here. And again, they do not want the full path. We're just looking for the command to open. So let's type in comp mgmt.msc. Question 2. At what time every day is the Google Update Task Manager machine UA task configured to run? So as we read earlier, we have to go to the task scheduler. Let's see what tasks we have. And we're looking for Google Update Task Machine UA. We have it here. And it is scheduled to run at 6:15 a.m. Okay, what is the name of the hidden folder that is shared? For the final question, we have to go to our shares folder. Now I see here we have 4 shares. I had to go through all of these, but I know on Windows you have to enable to view hidden folders. For these, it all seems like they're non-hidden, and they would end with a $sign. But I'm gonna go with this one as it looks like this is the answer they want. Make sure I wrote that right. That's H4RE, Mr. D. And that is the correct answer. Task 5, System Information. We're continuing with tools that are available through the System Configuration panel. Okay, what is System Information tool? That'd be MS Info 32. For Microsoft, Windows includes a tool called Microsoft System Information. This tool gathers information about your computer and displays a comprehensive view of your hardware, system components, and software environment, which you can use to diagnose computer issues. The information in System Summary is divided into 3 sections: hardware resources, components, and software environments. System Summary will display a general technical specification for the computer, such as processor, brand, and model. So here we have the System Summary. The information displayed in hardware resources is not for the average computer user. If you want to learn more about this section, refer to the official Microsoft page, and a link is provided. Okay, under components, you can see specific information about the hardware devices installed on your computer. Some sections don't show any information, but some sections do, such as display and input. So we have input here, and there should be a display here somewhere. In the software environment section, you can see information about software backed into the operating system and software you have installed. Other details are visible in the section as well, such as environment variables and network connections. So we have our software environments here. Recall from the Windows Fundamental 1 room, the Windows System 32 folder task where environment variables were briefly touched on. Per Microsoft, environment variable stores information about the operating system environment. This information includes details such as the operating system path, the number of processors used by the operating system, and the location of temporary folders. The environment variable stores data that is used by the operating system and other programs. For example, the Win directory environment variable contains the location of the Windows installation directory. Programs can query the value of this variable to determine where Windows operating system files are located. Click on environment variables to see the assigned values for the virtual machines. So once you have that open, you click here and you'll see all your variables. Another method to view environment variable is through the control panel, and this is the path to get to environmental variables through control. And you can also go through settings, and you'll end up in environmental variables if you follow this path. The detour is over. Let's redirect our attention back to MS Info 32 and pick where we left off. Towards the very bottom of this utility, there is a search bar. Please give it a go. Select components and search for IP address. So you'll be on your adapter IP address, and you can search right here by typing IP address. Okay, so let's move along to our questions. First question: what is the command to open system information? The answer is the name of the exe file, not the full path. Okay, so we have here, we're looking again for system information. So it's right here, msinfo32.exe, view advanced information about hardware and software setting. msinfo32.exe, msinfo32.exe, and that is correct. What is listed under system name? I guess we have to open this. So let's search MS info. We have system info, and it's asking what is listed under system name. So we have this right here, THM-WinFund tool. Capitalize THM-WinFund tool, and that is correct. Under environment variables, what is the value for CompSec? Okay, so for the final question, we have to go to software environment. It wants environment variables, and it wants us to see what is listed under CompSec. So we have this value listed. So let's go sys. Oh. I don't know if when you input the answer, if there's case sensitive. So go back. So I'm just gonna do it exactly as it shows in the values. We got /system32 /system32 and cmd.exe. So was that a backslash? Yes, /cmd.exe, and that completes this row. Task 6, resource monitor. So we're continuing with tools that are available through the system configuration panel. What is resource monitor? Per Microsoft, resource monitor display per process and aggregate CPU, memory, disk, and network usage information, in addition to providing the details about which processes are using individual files, handles, and modules. Advanced filtering allows us to isolate the data related to one or more processes, either application or services, start, stop, pause, and resume service, and close unresponsive applications from the user interface. It also includes a process analyst feature that can help identify deadlock processes and file locking conflicts so that the user can attempt to resolve the conflict instead of closing an application and potentially losing data. As some of the other tools mentioned in this room, this utility is geared primarily to advanced users who need to perform advanced troubleshootings on the computer system. In the Overview tab, RESOM has 4 sections. So we have CPU, disk, memory, and network. And here's our resource monitor, CPU, disk, memory, and network as listed. The same 4 sections have corresponding tabs across the top, and we'll see below: Overview, CPU, memory, disk, and network. Note that each tab has additional information for each. An image is shown below for each tab. So we have processes, services, associated handles, memory, we have disk, network. Okay, although not captured in any of the images above, Resource Monitor has a pan at the far right. This pane shows a graphical view in real time for each section. Note, the information displayed in Resource Monitor will be different for you compared to the images above. And let's go to our question. What is the command to open Resource Monitor? The answer is the name of the executable. Okay, so let's go here. We'll do as we did before. It should be system configuration. And we're looking for Resource Monitor. So if we scroll down, we have Resource Monitor listed right here. And here's our answer: resmon.exe, resmon.exe. Let's input that, resmon.exe. And that is our correct answer. Task 7, command prompt. So we're going to continue with tools that are available through the system configuration panel. The command prompt can seem daunting at first, but it's really not that bad once you understand how to interact it. In early operating system, the command line was the sole way to interact with the operating system. When the GUI, the graphical user interface, was introduced, it allowed users to perform complex tasks with a few clicks of a button instead of entering commands in the command prompt. Even though the GUI is the primary way to interact with the operating system, a computer user can still interact via the command prompt. And this task will only cover a few commands that a computer user can run in the command prompt to obtain information about the computer system. So we'll start with hostname and who I am. You open up your command prompt, your hostname. This is the hostname for that box, and the who am I will input the logged in user. Okay, next let's look at some commands that are useful when troubleshooting. ipconfig is a useful command. You should be familiar with this. If not, it gives you your IP address, subnet mask, and your gateway. And this right here is your MAC address. Okay, a command to retrieve the help manual for a command is /. For example, to see the help manual for ipconfig, you see here, just input the / and a question. To clear the command prompt screen, the command is cls. And for Linux, it's clear. The next command is netstat. Per the help manual, this command will display protocol, statistic, and current TCP/IP network connections. And here's an example. In the above image, the line within the RESTsock shows us an example syntax for the command. The structure tells us the netstat command can be run alone or with parameters such as -a, -b, -c, etc. When any of the parameters are append to the root command netstat, in this case, the output changes. We'll play with them. You can play with them yourself. The net command is primarily used to manage network resources. This command supports subcommands. If you type net without a subcommand, the output will show the syntax for the root command, showing a few of the subcommands you can use. And here's an example. For the net command to display the help manual, again is / question mark, and it states here it will not work. In this case, you will need to use a different syntax, which is net help. We see here net help. It shows us the commands that are available, and it explains some services syntax. Okay, so if you wish to use the help information for net user, the command is net help user. Okay, and here's another example. Net help user shows us an example of how to use the command and some more information. You can use the same command to view the help information for other useful net subcommands such as local group, use, share, and session. Refer to the following links to see a comprehensive list of commands you can execute in the command prompt here. Okay, first question. In the system configuration, what is the full command for the Internet Protocol configuration? So as usual, let's go to our system configuration and let's find Internet right here, Internet Protocol configuration. So this is the command. I believe in this one, they want us to put the full path. What is the full command? Okay, that's the answer. For the ipconfig command, how do you show detailed information? ipconfig. So I kind of know this one from the top of my head. And I will show you. So first, let's run a command line. This is another way you can run your command prompt. And if we do ipconfig /all, it'll give you more details on IP configurations. You got your Windows IP and your Ethernet adapters, and here's a lot of valuable information that you will use in the field when troubleshooting. So let's type ipconfig /all, and that is correct. Task 8, Registry Editor. So we're continuing with tools that are available through System Configuration Panel. The Windows Registry per Microsoft is a central hierarchical database used to store information necessary to configure the system for one or more users, applications, and hardware devices. The registry contains information that Windows continually references during operations, such as profile for each user, applications installed on the computers, and the type of documents that each can create, property sheet settings for folders and application icons, what hardware exists on the system, and the ports that are being used. Warning: the registry is for advanced computer users. Making changes to the registries can affect normal computer operation. There are various ways to edit the registries. One way is to use the registry editor, Regedit. And right here we have a snapshot of the registry editor. Okay, so let's refer to the following Microsoft documentations. You could click here if you want to learn more about the Windows registry. Okay, what is the command to open the registry editor? The name is the name of the exe file. Okay, I believe that would be regedit. We have the command there. Let's run as executable would be exe. I misspelled regedit exe. No. Refer to the command in msconfig. Okay, so we have to go by that. So if we go to system configuration, I believe we could get our answer here. Let's see if we find regedit. And we have regedit here. Okay, so it's actually regedt 32.ext. Okay, so regedt 32.exe, and that is correct. Okay, conclusion, task 9. Recall that the tasks covered in this room were some of the tools that can launch from msconfig. Through the room, commands and shortcuts were shared for the utilities. This means you don't have to launch msconfig to run these utilities. You can also run some of these utilities directly from the start menu. See below where some of these utilities can be found. Some of the tools listed in msconfig that weren't mentioned in the room were either covered in Windows Fundamental 1 or were left for you to explore on your own. And once you read this, hit complete it, and you completed this room. Now, if you found this useful, subscribe and share to the channel. Leave a comment if there's any other thing you would like for me to cover. Thank you for watching.